Welcome back to the Rise Up podcast. I'm so glad you're here. Today's episode dives into something we've all experienced in one way or another: hunger. Not just the kind that makes your stomach growl, but a deeper hunger that can affect the way we live, love, and make decisions. We'll explore how understanding and addressing these hungers can empower us to live fuller, more independent lives. As always, I've prepared a PDF transcript for this episode, so if you want to follow along or review later, you can find it in the description. Whether you're here to practice your English or looking for a boost of inspiration, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Alright, let's start with something simple. Have you ever been so hungry that you couldn't think straight? Like you're trying to focus on something important, maybe work or even just a conversation, but all you can think about is food? That's hunger. It's distracting, it's frustrating, and if it goes on long enough, it can mess you up. But here's the thing. Hunger isn't just about food. Sure, an empty stomach is the obvious example, but hunger comes in all forms. You can be hungry for attention, love, respect, or even a sense of purpose. And just like with food, when you're starved for something, it changes how you behave. Let's talk about the grocery store example. You've been there, right? You walk in hungry and suddenly everything looks amazing. Chips, candy, ice cream, you name it, it's going in the cart. You're not thinking about balance or nutrition. You're just grabbing what feels good in the moment. Then later, you're left wondering, why did I buy all this junk? Hunger makes us impulsive. But here's where it gets real. This isn't just about food. When you're emotionally hungry, when you feel like something is missing, you act the same way. You might cling to people who don't treat you well. You might say yes to things you don't want to do because you're afraid of losing someone's approval. You might let someone take advantage of you at work because you're too scared to stand up for yourself. It's all the same pattern. Hunger drives bad decisions. Think about it. When you're full, when you're confident in who you are and what you bring to the table, everything changes. You stop chasing things that don't serve you. You stop letting other people's opinions control your life. You start saying no to things that drain you and yes to the things that actually matter. But getting to that place of fullness, that's the hard part. It starts with awareness. Ask yourself, where am I hungry? Am I constantly looking for validation from others? Am I putting up with bad relationships because I'm afraid of being alone? Am I holding back in my career because I feel like I'm not good enough? These are tough questions, but you've got to face them. You can't fix a problem if you don't know it's there. Once you know where you're hungry, you've got to start filling yourself up. And no, I'm not talking about quick fixes. A quick fix is like grabbing a candy bar when you're starving. It might feel good for a minute, but it won't sustain you. Real fullness takes work. Let's break it down. If you're hungry for love or connection, start by building a better relationship with yourself. I know it sounds cliché, but it's true. You can't expect someone else to fill a hole that only you can fix. Start doing things that make you happy. Pursue hobbies, spend time with people who genuinely care about you, and stop settling for relationships that make you feel less than. If it's confidence you're lacking, focus on your strengths. What are you good at? What do you love to do? Lean into those things. Build your skills. When you know your worth, you stop letting other people dictate it for you. And here's a big one: financial hunger. This one's tough because money is tied to so much in life: security, freedom, opportunities. If you're struggling financially, it's hard to feel full in other areas. But even here, you can start small. Learn to manage what you have. Save when you can. Invest in skills or knowledge that will open up better opportunities for you down the road. Now, I know what you're thinking. All of this takes time. And you're right. None of this happens overnight. But that's okay. The important thing is to start. Here's why it matters. When you're full, you're free. You're not chasing things or people to make you feel whole. You're making choices because you want to, not because you need to. That kind of freedom, it's priceless. Take relationships, for example. Have you ever met someone who's so self-assured, so grounded, that you can't help but be drawn to them? That's the power of fullness. People like that don't need others to complete them, and that makes them incredibly attractive. The same goes for work. When you're confident in your abilities, you're not afraid to take risks or stand up for what you deserve. Now let's not pretend this is all sunshine and rainbows. There will be setbacks. You'll have days where you feel empty, where nothing seems to go right. That's normal. What matters is that you don't stay in that place. Every day is a new chance to fill yourself up a little more. And let me tell you something else. When you start living full, you inspire others to do the same. People notice when you're walking through life with confidence and purpose. They'll start asking, what's their secret? And the answer is simple. You've stopped letting hunger control you. So here's my challenge to you. Take a good, honest look at your life. Where are you running on empty? And what's one thing you can do today to start filling that space? Maybe it's setting a boundary with someone who's been taking advantage of you. Maybe it's signing up for a class to learn a skill you've always wanted to master. Maybe it's just taking a moment to remind yourself that you're enough, exactly as you are. Because here's the truth. Life is too short to live hungry. Fill yourself up with knowledge, with love, with experiences that make you feel alive. Do it for you. And watch how everything else starts to fall into place. Thank you for spending time with me on the Rise Up podcast. I hope today's episode gave you some fresh perspectives and maybe a little inspiration to start filling yourself up in all the best ways. Remember, life is too short to live hungry, whether it's for respect, love, or personal growth. If you'd like to revisit anything we talked about, don't forget to check out the PDF transcript linked in the description. It's there to support you however you need. If this episode resonated with you, feel free to share it with a friend or leave a review. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, keep rising up, keep growing, and take care of yourself. I'll see you in the next episode.